Hello Fantasy Faithfuls and welcome to week 16 CSD Fantasy live stream. I apologize for being a little late today. Hope the sound is good, so I'm gonna wait for Melo to confirm before I start shouting people out. I'll already prepare Melo's first question as well. Well, no, I forgot Mike Boone. There we go. Sound is good, thanks Melo. Melo, welcome by the way. Welcome to the stream, Jared Kurtz as well, Mark L, fantastic to see y'all, Miracle Man, what's up, Scott Temple, welcome to the stream, happy to have you on board, Rodney, Michael Carone, welcome as always, Rodney is always here, Rodney is on the team. We got questions coming in, hopefully all of y'all are in championship games this week. Let me know in the comments or in the chat if you made it to the championship game. I would love to hear how many people are playing DFS this week compared to championship games. You know me, I'm still in that week 17 championship game. I have a pretty good matchup so far with Tyler Higbee going bananas yesterday. And Scott Temple in championship, fantastic. You have a week 17 game as well, Melo. I hate those, but this would have been a good championship game for me otherwise. With Higbee going off, I have good matchups pretty much against all my opponent's players. But we got Melo wants to know. He wants to pick two out of Drake, Kerryon Johnson, Darius Slayton, and Mike Boone. And I'm going with the two running backs for... I'm going with Kenyon Drake for Arizona, and I'm going with Kerryon Johnson against Denver. That seems a little high for Kerryon, to be honest. I'm a little bit worried that the projections have been a little bit messed up for Kerryon. That seems a little high. I would say this is a little misleading now that I take a second look. I know it's pick 2 for Melo. In a PPR situation, Darius Slayton and Kenyon Drake seems a little bit more reasonable, to be honest, than Kerryon. Kerryon's numbers seem extremely high for a guy that hasn't played that much. So I'm a little concerned about that. I just want to double check the numbers off screen. Real quick. Come on, search function. Come on. Carry on. Not showing up. Fantastic. Carry on. There we go. Let's just double check. Seems alright. What if we do that? I'm sorry, but there we go. Fixed. So I would prefer to go Slayton and Kenyon Drake in a PPR situation. I had to fix Kerryon's numbers there a little bit. They were inflated with previous performances. And with him coming back, that shouldn't be the case. So Kenyon Drake and Darius Slayton for me in that one. I don't trust Mike Boone. I think they're going to throw a lot in Minnesota with having both their number 1 and 2 backs out. Nicholas Curran, welcome to the stream, man. Happy to have you on board as always. We got Jared Kurtz wants to know Mixon, Joe Mixon, Dion Lewis, Miles Sanders. No, Sandwide. Not sure what that means. Sanders. I'm going to assume that's Miles Sanders. Mike Boone. Choose two, I'm guessing. I like Joe Mixon this week a lot. High ceiling, high floor. He's been very usable I was looking at that yesterday, and he's like the 6th or 7th most usable back, like that you can start him any given week. Sure, some of those weeks have been like RB3, but it's been crazy how usable he's been. The same with Chris Carson. I was looking at him yesterday for the YouTube video that I posted with Chris Carson. He's one usable week behind Christian McCaffrey, which is insane. McCaffrey has been, he's been like RB1 every week, but when he's not RB1, he shouldn't be started. Chris Carson is always RB2 or RB3 and can be started pretty much every week in a 12-team league. So Joe Mixon, I want to start him, and I want to start Miles Sanders. I think they're going to hurt the Cowboys in the screen game with Miles Sanders, which is unfortunate for me as a Cowboys fan, but I do think he will be good this week. So I'm starting Joe Mixon and Miles Sanders in this one. How many likes do we need for the giveaway? I'll say we've done. What have we done? We've done 30. Did we do 35? I feel like we did 35. I kind of forgot. I talked about the likes, what to reach for the like session. We talked about that a while ago. Let's see. We have had 20. We have 25. We've had 30. Let's do. This is a big one. Let's aim for 40. If we can get 40, you want to do 35. Can we do 35? Let's meet halfway. Let's do 38. If we can reach 38 likes, we will have a giveaway in week 17. That will be a good final giveaway. We might do some DFS like contests as well as we move forward. I will start catering more to DFS as we move closer to the end of the season, as all leagues try to end out. So I'm working on a new video concept with more DFS content and a DFS creator where you can create your lineup using my projections. But I haven't really got that far with that one. There's a lot of programming and algorithm niche things that need to get done. But that was Jared Kurtz. I wanted Joe Mixon and Miles Sanders for him. Mark L. Full point PPR. Anthony Miller. Anthony Miller. There we go. And DeAndre Washington. A lot of risk with DeAndre Washington, but he does have a buttload of upside this week. Against the Chargers, 2 receptions against 4 for Miller. That's not too much for Miller. Terrible matchup for Anthony Miller against Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm going DeAndre Washington. Even with that risk in mind, I prefer him, as both of them have terrible floors. 66.2 is still a lot of risk for Miller. Terrible matchup, as I said. So I'm going DeAndre Washington over Anthony Miller. And to reach that 38 likes, please share on social media and get the word out there. The more people join in, the more likely it is we reach the 38 likes. And thank you so much for being here today as we move closer to the end of the season. I really appreciate having everybody here coming in the final stretch. Miracle Man, hope everybody had a good Saturday for the championship. Let's bring it home today. Yes, sir. Let's do it. Ride that Tyler Higbee train. Scott Temple wants to know about Philip Lindsay. Tariq Cohen. Oh, it's been so many weeks since we had a Tariq Cohen question. And Anthony Miller. So let's watch me misspell Anthony Miller 3-4 times. Philip Lindsay has burned me, but he does have a good matchup against Detroit. 12th best team for a running back to play right now. Highest floor, highest ceiling. As you may have noticed, I put the risk numbers back to make it more clear with the risk involved. But I will keep my eye on a little benchmark that I have down below that you can't see, just to be sure. So 61% is considered risky for running backs. So 38 is really low. So I'm going Philip Lindsay. It's only one that you want, right? You need one. PPR, 2 receptions, 5 for Tariq Cohen, which is fantastic. But he still reaches 10 points, 11 with 4 receptions, and no upside to speak about with Anthony Miller in a terrible matchup. So I'm going Philip Lindsay, and I'm starting him myself in in both my leagues that I'm still in. I actually lost one league by 2 points last week, which was super annoying. I was about to make 3 out of 3 in week 15, and then it burnt me on Monday Night Football. It's annoying as crap, but that's fantasy. That was Scott Temple. Where are we down? Miracle Man, Sterling Shepard, Adrian Peterson, or Darius Slayton for flex. Why did I write flex? Slayton. AP looks pretty darn good. Full point PPR, 1 reception for AP, 6 for Shepard, which is fantastic. But that puts him at 14. Slayton would be out there probably, but he does have that much higher ceiling. Good boom chance for both Shepard and Peterson. High risk for Peterson. He's above that 61% mark. Wide receiver benchmark is 52. So Shepard is above that, while Slayton is below. So that kind of removes Shepard for me, even with the PPR points, because you do want upside this week. 4 receptions, 1 reception, ways up. That high, it's a high boom chance for AP though, and higher projection, easier opponent. They give up 17.2 points on average to running backs, which is great. And no Darius guys, so I'm going Adrian Peterson over Darius Slayton. Mark L, you're playing week 17 as well. Like, what is going on with all these week 17? I don't mind playing DFS in week 17, but a championship game in week 17, it's one of the worst things, in my opinion. Hopefully, it looks like right now, if we're going by one of my leagues that play in 17, it looks like I will be playing in the final against a person with Lamar Jackson. Hopefully, they bench him, and then that person is stuck with, like, I don't know, Mason Rudolph or Duck Hodges, whatever is left on waivers. Which is like super boring to me, but it is what it is. Nicholas Caron, Michael, or Ronnie, Nick is coming. Awesome. Yeah, he's right there. Mello, I had 2 for the playoff back, and how many people were in the league? Not sure what that meant. Nicholas Caron, Mark Ingram or Aaron Jones? This is a good one. Aaron Jones. I really like Mark Ingram for this one, but it seems like I like Aaron Jones even more. 13.2, that's a whole point with the same risk. Lower floor, but that's fine because the ceiling is massive. Mark Ingram has a fantastic opponent, but 3 receptions. I would start Aaron Jones, but I really do like Mark Ingram this week as well. This is from Nick. You don't happen to have any other running backs you could potentially bench, Nicholas Caron? I want to start both of these. Like, that's, I mean, if you have McCaffrey, that's understandable. But you might be able to flex one of them. But I would go with Aaron Jones over Mark Ingram. But they're some of my highest ranked running backs for week 16. So that's kind of why I want to try to start both of them. And I know Nicholas Caron had another question with Amari Cooper, Cortland Sutton, and Keenan Allen. Let's check in on the likes as well. We're at 14 likes with 9 people in the chat right now. Please share more on social media if we want to hit that 38 like mark to get another giveaway for week 17. The giveaways have been a fantastic addition to the live stream, in my opinion. We've had a lot of fun. It's drawn in a lot of new people and added a little bit more spice to the chat, as well as people get more involved. Amari Cooper, Cortland Sutton, Keenan Allen in PPR. isn't Nicholas Crone. Is Nicholas still here? I asked him a question about that Mark Ingram, Aaron Jones one. I'm a little concerned that he's missing these. 6 receptions, 5 receptions, 5 receptions, 13, 15, 16. Who is 16? Keenan Allen, a lot of receptions, high upside. I do like Cortland Sutton though with that high projection, but I kind of like Keenan Allen too. But that matchup is fantastic against Detroit. 31.2 points on average, 2 wide receivers. Amari Cooper has been looking iffy, but massive upside there as well. Low risk, high floor for Cortland Sutton. So this one is difficult. I have 5 receptions. Oh, yeah, you're here. Okay, perfect. Did you hear? Could you bench somebody else instead of Mark Ingram and Aaron Jones, Nicholas? Upside is lower with Keenan Allen. His projection is lower. His floor is the lowest. And he has the toughest matchup. So I'm going to remove Keenan Allen. Focus on Cortland Sutton and Amari Cooper for this one. Even though Keenan Allen had a higher projection than Cooper, the upside just isn't there for Keenan. Compared to Cooper with the matchups. 5 receptions for each of them. A little bit worrisome. I do like Michael Gallup has a lot of upside this week, but Amari Cooper does have against Philly. He's shown it in the past, both Detroit and I'm going Cortland Sutton over Amari Cooper, and that hurts me to say, but that's what I'm going. So I will go Cortland Sutton, Amari Cooper, and Keenan Allen in that order in PPR. That was Nicholas Carome. How many likes do we need for the giveaway? We talked about that. 38. Niner 415. Welcome to stream. Happy to have you on board. C Phil, what's up, man? I saw one more join in. Yeah, Demetrius Bird, welcome to the show as always. Happy to have all y'all on board. And Nicholas Carone says Cowboys are going to win. Yeah, they sure are. They sure are. With that in mind, let's bring it down to 35 likes. Because Nicholas said the Cowboys are going to win. So we're going to bring it down to 35 likes instead of 38. Just because the Cowboys need as much support as possible right now. 9415. Yo, do you like Aaron Jones over Mike Boone for Monday? It's hard for me to bench Jones. Yes, I would not bench Aaron Jones for Mike Boone. No chance, no way. High projection, lower risk, higher floor, high ceiling. Easier opponent actually, even though they're like 0 point something points, like 18.8. Yeah, you see, 18.75. It's dead even. I would play Aaron Jones. I don't think they're going to be running too much for Minnesota. They have Adam Thielen back, Kirk Cousins, Stephon Diggs, Kyle Rudolph. They have players to lean on. They don't have to lean on their third string running back. So 9415, I would play Aaron Jones definitely. C Phil, Kyler Murray or Carson Wentz. This is like being stuck between a rock and a hard place for me. I'm playing Kyler Murray in my fantasy playoffs, and the Cowboys are playing Carson Wentz, which is super unfortunate in both of these. Much higher projection for Wentz, but a higher risk. Where does the risk factor go for quarterbacks? 59%, so this is risky, much safer, but 4 points lower projection. That's uncomfortable. Ceiling's pretty tight, 2.5 points-ish, same floor. High boom chance for Wentz, also higher bust risk. Cowboys, much easier opponent than the Seahawks. Why am I looking at receptions? It's a tough one. For me, I would look a little bit around at the surrounding talent, and the Eagles are kind of depleted. They're leaning on like Greg Ward and Boston Scott. So I would start Kyler Murray in this one for the safety, but also for that ceiling upside that you see is bigger. Because the boom chance is 2%. It's decent to be above, but 7 boom chance is still pretty high for Kyler Murray. So with the higher ceiling as well, Murray to me has more upside than Carson Wentz in this one with the surrounding talent. So I would start Kyler Murray, even though I really hope none of them play well, which is which is bad. Mello, you met Kenyon Drake. I don't know where. Oh, you met Kenyon Drake. Where did you meet Kenyon Drake? Or you met him? Like in person? Where? Mello, if you met Kenyon Drake, like put the whole story in the chat and I'll read it out loud. Because I want to know. That's fantastic. Seafill, PPR, need one out of Devontae Parker, Odell Beckham Jr., T.Y. Hilton, who I kind of like this week. Hilton. And Miller. Did I get it right this time? No, I messed up Miller. Really? Why have I such a hard time spelling Anthony? And Darius Slayton. So we got Devontae, pick one for PPR. 4 receptions, 5-5-4. Can you see? 5-5-4. That brings Devontae Parker up, followed by T.Y. Hilton. I don't want OBJ. I don't want Anthony Miller. And I don't want Darius Slayton compared to these. Well, the upside for Slayton compared to Hilton. I do want Devontae Parker. He does have a lot of upside still. Cincinnati mainly been good against wide receivers because everybody's been able to run on them. The Dolphins can't run, so they'll have to pass. And that's why Devontae Parker will be my pick. I don't know why I removed all of it, but I would roll with Devontae Parker, even though he's been every other week type of player. This might be the week to change that up, but I'm rolling Devontae Parker over the ones. I really don't want OBJ, which is is so weird. Miracle Man, Kareem Hunt or Adrian Peterson. Let me check because I believe I answered this one on the Fantasy Rabbit Hole podcast. I just want to make sure that I'm sticking to what I've said in the past. Yeah, I went with Gurley above Adrian Peterson. And Todd Gurley, that was in a PPR situation as well. He had 2. Yeah, I went with Gurley over Peterson and Hunt. Upside for Peterson, floor for Hunt, risk for both of them. Many more receptions for Kareem Hunt against Baltimore. This one is a tough one. I feel like I want to go Kareem Hunt in a PPR situation with that boom chance with a ceiling that's just a little bit lower. But then again, Baltimore, well, the Giants have been pretty good against running backs as well lately. 17.2 points on average, 2 running backs if we adjust for the last 3 weeks compared to 15.6. That's not a lot of point differential. Kareem Hunt catches a ton of passes, which would give you a lot of safe points. That's why his ceiling is floor is high as well. With more receptions, that brings his floor almost up to his projection, which is insanely good. So I'm starting Kareem Hunt over Adrian Peterson. Let me get that in a PPR situation. See, Phil, you started Fuller yesterday. Ouch. He's so untrustworthy. Like, he can win you an entire league. Or like an entire week by himself, and then shoot you in the back the next 5 weeks in a row. 90415, do you like the Falcons DST, Atlanta Falcons, or versus the Jags or the Chargers? Los Angeles Chargers. High projection for the Falcons. Lower risk, lower floor, but a higher ceiling. High boom chance, but a lower ceiling. Both have pretty decent opponents. 6.9 points on average. Jacksonville, 7.3. Oakland. I would roll with the Falcons over the Chargers in this one. With a high projection, they have about the same risk. And Falcons have higher upside. So I would go with the Falcons over the Chargers for 9-4-1-7. 4-1-5, my bad. Let's do some more shout out because I see Wesley joining in. What's up, man? Sleek's here as well, and Levy Max, welcome to the stream. Happy to have all three of y'all on board. Niners, you're welcome. Thank you. I'm glad you love the show. Appreciate it, man. And I'm just guessing that you're a Niners fan. It was a great game yesterday, and it was a lot of fantasy points for me. So I appreciate that. Let's see where we were. That was Peterson over Hunt, Fuller, Falcons DC. You want Demetrius Bird, DJ Moore, who I'm not out of him at all with Greer. Is his name Greer? I feel like his name is Greer. With the backup quarterback. DJ Moore, I lost where the other one. Or Danny Amendola. I like DJ Moore over Amendola even with a backup quarterback. Indy is terrible against wide receivers. Higher ceiling, they need to throw to somebody. 6 receptions compared to 4 for Danny Amendola. Denver has been decent against wide receivers. There's higher boom chance. Lower bust risk though for Amendola. But, I mean, if you're below 0.8, I mean, who cares? Then you have 7 yards. So I'm going DJ Moore. I think he has more upside than Danny Amendola. And more safety. Not just upside. I like everything with DJ Moore compared to Danny Amendola. Niners, thanks God at keeping Jones in over Mike Boone. Yes, I think you should. Wesley, good morning to you too. Demetrius Bird, pick 2. Nick Chubb. Devontae Freeman. That's not how you spell it. Devontae Freeman. Or Mike Boone. It's going to be a lot of Mike Boone questions, I feel. Nick Chubb, terrible opponent. Still highest protection, lowest risk, highest floor, highest ceiling. High boom chance compared to the other two. In the receiving game, he will keep track with Freeman. So I'm going Nick Chubb still. I'm not going to start putting in third stringers over Pro Bowlers at this point. That's not how I play fantasy. I'm not going to start for this game in a championship game. Even though Adam Thielen's been out, I trust him more than I trust somebody like Emmanuel Sanders, which turned out to be a pretty decent decision to sit Sanders. I trust Devontae Adams to be stronger than Darius Slayton in this week. I'm not going to start gambling on what ifs or those type of situations when I have star players. Even though I'm not saying start your studs type thing, but who do you trust more? And I do trust Devontae Adams and Adam Thielen to have potentially bigger games than Mike Boone. Speaking without hindsight. Miami Kings production is here as well. Welcome to the show, man. Happy to have you on board as always. We're doing 35 likes today for a giveaway in week 17. I feel like I haven't said that enough. Also, I saw somebody said something about Instagram. I just wanted to check who was that. Was it Mello? Somebody said something. You can check out CSD Fantasy on Instagram at CSD Fantasy. I have a lot more content coming out on Instagram as of now, with quick takes being there every day for DFS. But mainly it's just more a platform that's easy to communicate infographics and quick infos. YouTube channel, I go a little bit more in depth. CSDFantasy.com, I go a lot in depth into every week, look into stats and projections, do my 4 starts, must start each week, my 4 high risk, high rewards players on Thursdays with the score projections, and then usually, now it's a little late, but usually on Tuesdays I do the waiver wire and statistics and that analysis. We're roughly at 72-73% hit rate over the year, which is a little lower than last year, just 1%. Or 2%, I can't remember, lower than last year. So I'm working to tweak the algorithm just a little bit more to be more reliable when we're having changes in different roles. So next year I have a little list here. Can just do a little sneak peek. That's going to implement defensive matching and target receptions. Going to be more implemented as more people play PPR than standard scoring. So I want to focus a little bit more on PPR, as most questions on that, and make that more reliable as well. Anyway, where was I? That was Demetrius and PPR with Chubb, Devontae, and Boone. So we got Wesley with Darren Waller and Jacob Hollister and Terry McLaurin, AJ Brown, or Devontae Freeman, DeAndre Washington. Sorry you're late. No, you're fine. Let's see. So McLaurin and AJ Brown, Wesley, is that standard? And the other two are PPR. Just want to confirm that one. I'm going to start talking about Waller and Hollister, but just confirm if Terry McLaurin and AJ Brown are standard or PPR. So Darren Waller, definitely, he has the high projection. He has lower risk. He has a higher floor, higher ceiling. Low bust risk and a much higher boom chance. Easy opponent for Jacob Hollister, but to me, that doesn't matter when you have 6 receptions coming in for Darren Waller in a PPR league compared to the 4 for Hollister. Even if Hollister has a massive game at 11, I think Darren Waller has a better chance of being at 13.7. So I will go with Darren Waller over Jacob Hollister. I see Demetrius wants to know, while we wait for Wesley to confirm, let's do Demetrius while we have Darren Waller up there. This is more even. 7 points, 4.3. Easier opponent for him. Roughly the same floor, roughly the same ceiling. Higher bust risk for Henry. Higher boom chance for Waller. Okay. Reception-wise, Waller 6 versus 5 for Henry. Lower risk for Henry. I would still start Darren Waller, though. Even the Chargers are decent against tight ends. I would still start Darren Waller with those reception points compared to Hunter Henry. PPR. Okay, so Terry McLaurin, AJ Brown in a PPR situation. 3 receptions for Brown, 4 for McLaurin. Puts them at 1 point difference. Still higher risk for Brown. Where's the wide receiver risk benchmark? 52. So McLaurin is actually safe at 49, and 56 is above the benchmark. Higher floor for McLaurin, higher ceiling for him for AJ Brown, higher boom chance for McLaurin. Both have easy opponents. PPR situation put 4 for McLaurin, and I'm starting McLaurin in DFS over AJ Brown myself. So I'm rolling with Terry McLaurin over AJ Brown in a PPR situation. I just like to put that down below. Devontae Freeman or DeAndre Washington in a PPR situation. 4 and 2. High projection, high risk, high ceiling. Ooh, this one is a little close. Still a lot of risk for Devontae Freeman. Easy opponent as crap though. But the projection is so much higher for DeAndre Washington. But 99.1 risk. I'm rolling with Devontae Freeman over DeAndre Washington in a PPR league, with 4 receptions coming in for Freeman. That's a lot more safety. It's almost twice as much risk with DeAndre Washington at 13. Low floor. Devontae has a little bit higher ceiling still. That was Wesley's question. Nicholas Caron, I gave you a shout out on my Instagram. That's where I saw Instagram. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. The more people we get in, the closer we can get to the 35 likes. Sleek. Atlanta Falcons, Washington Redskins, New York Jets, not Giants, Jets, Jets. Redskins 7.1, decent risk, highest floor, highest ceiling, highest boom chance. Giants are a decent opponent, only 0.6 points between them and the Jets against Pittsburgh. So I'm going with the Redskins on this one, with the higher floor, higher ceiling, higher projection as well, and middle risk compared to all the two. So the Redskins against the Giants for me. Let's bring up the Jets again, because I see Wesley wants to know about the Jets or the Colts. Let's put them next to each other for ease. Higher projection, much higher risk, higher floor, lower ceiling though, high boom chance. Carolina is a really good opponent though. Really good opponent. Why am I looking at PPR points? Let's look at the risk factor for DSTs if I have one. 52% for DSTs. So they're much... The Jets are safe, but 5.7 compared to 7.1. And twice as high ceiling. I mean floor. Higher ceiling for the Jets though, but that boom chance is nice. Ay. This one is tough. I like the Jets upside on this one with that amount of risk compared to 48.7. I'm going Jets against Pittsburgh over the Colts. So Jets over Indy. Levi Max wants to know about Gardner Minshew, or Aaron Rodgers. This is our classic for 2019. This has been up so many times, it's insane. Minshew, high projection, lower floor for Rodgers, higher floor, higher ceiling for Rodgers, no bust risk for Rodgers whatsoever. High boom chance for Minshew, but with a lower ceiling. Easier opponent, but I want Aaron Rodgers in this one with that lower risk and that massive ceiling compared to Minshew's. So I'm going Aaron Rodgers over Gardner Minshew. Aaron Rodgers over Gardner Minshew. Miracle Man, don't worry about it. Happy to have you on board as always. Just glad to have as many people joining in here in week 16. I wasn't expecting all y'all to be here, so I'm actually quite moved that so many people joined in. It's great to be here as always. You told everybody on your Snapchat. Thanks, man. Nicholas, you've been an amazing ambassador. The word of mouth is getting out there, and we're growing this community. I feel like we're growing it week in and week out, which is fantastic. And the more people we can get on here, the more fun things we can do in the future. I hope to grow the channel even more and bring even more content out in 2020, 2021, and just keep growing, keep putting out even more and better content. Like I showed that little note with all the ideas and upgrades to the channel and the network as a whole. It will be a lot of fun to see what we can do in the future. And the more people that come on, the more stuff I can do. When some money actually will come in the future, so I can get a little bit better gear. This is just the start of it. I want the quality to be even better. Not just the YouTube channel, but the content as a whole with projections and stuff. If you want to support the channel, please click below at the Patreon page. You can donate everything from $1 to $20 and get your personal score projection for your team every week. I'll send it to you. Or if you just want to help out, I'm super grateful for everything. And if you don't, just hit that like button, share on social media. That's fantastic for the channel as well. Nicholas Carone, you put in DeAndre Hopkins. Rest in peace. What did he get? 7 something in PPR. That's rough this week. That's super rough, and I'm sorry about that. Wesley, what do you think about DeAndre Washington? What's his ceiling in PPR? DeAndre Washington. I think his ceiling is 14 points in standard with 2 receptions, bringing it up to 16 points. And I think that's his ceiling. It's still a lot of risk involved with him. I would prefer to have Devontae Freeman over him, but somebody like Tariq Cohen, I prefer to have DeAndre Washington. So like it's still. Do I prefer Mike 8.7, 14.6 high boom chance for Washington. I don't have any receptions for Mike Boone, which is strange. But I probably would run with DeAndre Washington and that boom chance over Mike Boone as well. Even like he has a much higher projection as well. So DeAndre Washington over Boone, and that brings me to Demetrius Byrd and Devontae Freeman, and I would play Freeman over Boone in a PPR league. I have him for 4 receptions. So I would have them Freeman, Washington, and Boone in that order in PPR. Freeman, Washington, Boone. Freeman, Washington, Boone in PPR. Mello, yeah, I met Kenyon Drake in person. They were doing a training camp thing in Florida, and he was at my hotel. He was one of my favorite Dolphins players, and I got a pick. Oh, that's awesome, man! I love when you hear stories about like players, taking time to give back to the fans. Nicholas, yeah, it's the Instagram comment. Thank you so much for following on Instagram. I'm trying to provide more content there, not just like what I'm doing, but next year it's going to be like a little bit behind the scenes and stuff like that as well, to show some Instagram stories. So that's going to be fun, a fun way to interact with everybody and show a little bit more how I work behind the scenes and get that up and going. We got the Darren Waller and Hunter Henry question for Demetrius answered already. That was we went with Waller over Henry. Demetrius, we also just answered Devontae Freeman or Mike Boone with Devontae Freeman in a PPR league. So I want Freeman over Boone for Demetrius. Wesley, how do you feel about A.J. Brown with Derrick Henry out? Should I put Tyler Lockett in my wide receiver 2 and substitute A.J. Brown for DeAndre Washington in flex? PPR, I need the points. That leads me to believe you need a lot of upside. So let's see. A.J. Brown, Tyler Lockett, DeAndre, not Carter, Washington. There we go. So you need a buttload of points. That means we need a high ceiling. Tyler Lockett has and AJ Brown has definitely the highest ceilings. If this is a PPR league, Tyler Lockett is hands down my favorite of these three. So you see, how do you feel about A.J. Brown with Derrick Henry? Should I put Lockett in my wide receiver 2 and substitute A.J. Brown for DeAndre Washington in flex? No, I think you should start A.J. Brown and Tyler Lockett with the ceiling upside that they bring. Even with Derrick Henry out. I know they play much better in the play-action game. That will limit him a little bit, but DeAndre Washington, it's still a tougher matchup. New Orleans gave up the 5th most amount of points to wide receivers, so it's still a great matchup for A.J. Brown. Tyler Lockett, he woke up finally, and it's looking like Tyler Lockett. Perfect timing for the playoffs, by the way. But I would start Tyler Lockett. He has the safest floor, lowest risk, and the highest upside. Well, second, but it's 0.1 points. So I would definitely do A.J. Brown and Lockett in a PPR league. Also, weather for the game shows winds and rain in New Orleans versus Titans. I think it will give how much rain and wind, because that will be concerning. That is something I'm working on to improve for next year. It will be a column here that says something about how they match against defenses, and it will be a column that shows if the weather is concerning or not. So I don't know how to fit that on the screen, but it will definitely be a situation where that will come up. So weather, Saints game. Because they're playing in Tennessee, right? Yes. Light rain throughout the day. That's all it says here. Kickoff, temperature 50 degrees. Wind 4 miles per hour. That not too much. It's going to stay around 4 or 5 miles per hour. Visibility is fine. Humidity is fine. Perception is going to rain in the 3rd and 4th quarter now with a 23% chance of raining. Nothing in the first 2 quarters. So I'm not too concerned about that. We've seen much worse. That would not be on my concern list here. It would be like it will either say like dome, good to go, or concerns, or get the F out. Something like that. Probably not get the F out, but be cautious. Nicholas Carone, Patrick Mahomes Mahomes. We got 10 more minutes to roll, but we're doing pretty good today with questions. Let's see how we're doing with the giveaway situation as well. We're at 19 now. We need 35, but 19 is still fantastic in week 16. As a lot of people have already been kicked out of leagues or, lost interest as we move forward. Pat Mahomes or Dak Prescott. I'm sad that next week is the last week of the season. Tell me about it, man. Tell me about it. But Mahomes, highest projection, lower risk for Prescott, high floor from Mahomes, higher ceiling for Prescott, easier opponent for Prescott. The only thing is that shoulder. He's not listed that anything is. There's no issue with him, but there has been an issue. I was going to have Dak Prescott as one of my must starts for this week, and I was super hype about playing him, and now I'm like, he's not listed on the report despite injury. Cowboys believe they got the best Dak. I mean, it is concerning. It definitely is concerning. And it's not like you're picking between, Dak Prescott and Andy Dalton. Then I would definitely go with Prescott. In this case, with the shoulder concern and the finger concern, don't forget about the finger. I'm going with last year's MVP and Patrick Mahomes, even though he's playing Chicago. At Chicago. How is the weather in Chicago? Let's check that instead first. Is it? That it can be. It can be rough up there. Kansas City, clear skies, 40 degrees, clear, no perception risk, visibility's fine, feels like 30, that's all right. 30s, that's decent. 12 mile per hour wind, that's the only concern. It's not 14, which is usually where things get a little dicey. I will go with Mahomes over Prescott with that shoulder concern. That's just me being scared, even though I'm a Cowboys fan and I hope to God that he's fine, but you don't want to start him in a playoff game and he walks out after 2 throws. Mohamed Al-Salamek, any chance you can do Fournette versus Mac? Yes. Leonard Fournette. That's not how you spell it. Fournette. There we go. Or Marlon Mack. These two are high projected players for week 16. Highest prediction for Fournette. Lower risk, higher floor, higher ceiling. Lower bust risk, lower boom chance, but fine. Fantastic opponent for Marlon Mack. Fantastic opponent in Carolina. But I have high projection, lower risk. Every other number is in favor of Fournette. Even though I don't like Fournette, I will start Fournette over Marlon Mack this week. If we're looking in a PPR league, I'm definitely starting Fournette over Mack. In a PPR league, it's definitely Fournette over Mack. You made 7 championship games, Nicholas? That's crazy. Kenyon Drake or Melvin Gordon for Wesley. You're welcome, Ahmed. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I didn't say welcome to the stream to you. Happy to have you on board. Kenyon Drake, 11 projection, higher risk, lower floor, higher ceiling. This one is tough. Drew Modi, welcome to the stream. Happy to have you on board. In a PPR league, I would like Kenyon Drake over Melvin Gordon. I would love to have Austin Eckler over Kenyon Drake, but I'm on Kenyon Drake over Melvin Gordon in this case. Higher ceiling. I'm okay with that floor. It's impacted by some Miami games. That's fine. Easier opponent for Kenyon. And more receptions coming his way as well. So I'm going Drake over Gordon. Demetrius, should I start Phillip Rivers or Mitchell Trubisky. Is it just Mitch Trubisky in my notes? No. There we go. Mitchell Trubisky. High prediction for Rivers. Both have high risks. Higher floor for Rivers, lower ceiling. High boom chance for Rivers, easier opponent. With that boom chance being 3 times as high as Trubisky's, even he's 2 points lower in the ceiling. The floor is much, much higher. High projection. Risks put these two pretty much evenly. So I'm going with that boom chance against an easy opponent in Oakland and starting Phillip Rivers over Trubisky. Even though I really don't like either one of them. If you can't start anybody else. Well, over Fitz. Now we're talking. Ryan Fitzpatrick. A little bad weather in Miami. Yes. I would start Rivers then. Yeah. Against Oakland. So, yeah, Rivers, Demetrius. Even Fitz kind of has the same numbers as Trubisky. With that low boom chance, low floor, and roughly the same ceiling. So, I would start Rivers over Fitzpatrick and Trubisky. Dak or Mahomes, yeah, we talked about that one just a few minutes ago, so I'm going to cover that one pretty quickly. If there was no shoulder or finger concern with Dak, I would start Dak. But with that in mind, I'm starting Mahomes. He's still a fantastic quarterback. And even though the matchup is tougher, I'm concerned that Dak might have to leave the game at one point, and that concern is not something I want to deal with in a championship game. So I'm going Mahomes. We need 35 likes, so tell everybody. Yeah, how are we doing with that one? We're at 20. It's going to be touch and go with 3 minutes left. Wesley, I'm in 2 championships. Y'all pray for me, and I'll pray for you to bring it home. Bring it home, Wesley. Let's do it. Let me know how it goes. I hope you get both of them. Justin Walsh, hello man, how's it going? Joining in real late. I can't stay. I'm at the Hofstra. Okay, awesome, man. I'm glad you stopped by to say hi. Have fun at the game. Demetrius, if whether it's good, Fitz or Rivers. Rivers to me. Rivers still. It's Justin. Took Matt's phone. Matt Walsh. What do you like the video to get there? Yeah, I don't think we're going to reach the 35 likes in this one, but hopefully we can aim to have another like contest next week. So we can reach the giveaway for a DFS week as well. Dallas game is going to be fantastic. Drew, it should be just a little thumbs up at the bottom of down here somewhere that you can click on to leave a like. I appreciate that a ton. Appreciate everybody for joining me here today. I know we did a few minutes shorter show, but it's been a fantastic one. I think I answered all questions that came in. I hope y'all had a good time. It's been a fantastic year, and I hope everybody can bring home a championship today, or at least make it to the final if you play in a Week 17 game. But I want to thank everybody for, not just for today, but for the season as well. It's been an amazing journey with everybody here joining in and having a ton of fun week in and week out. You bringing on even more people, word of mouth, growing the community, having a ton of fun. We have like tiny things going on with people just screaming Rodney in the show, which I enjoy a ton. And I want to bring even more and better content to everybody in the future. So stick around, see what happens with CSD Fantasy as we move into the offseason. After Super Bowl, we'll be 2 weeks off, and then we're back at it with more videos on a weekly basis. And the Fantasy Rabbit Hole will continue on Wednesdays as always. So you can come in and interact with me and Nick Faber as well. But as always, thank you so much. Please leave comments on the other videos as well if you want to interact. Super fun to do. Mello leaves a lot of comments. So please follow his lead. It's fantastic to talk to y'all, not just on Sundays, but throughout the week as well. I see a lot of trash talk. That's awesome. How much money is the giveaway? It's Amazon. We've done $10 for now, but today it will be no giveaway as we only reached 21 likes. We did not reach the 35, so no giveaway this time. But in the future, we'll do more Amazon gift cards until I can get a sponsor to provide some DFS content or memorabilia and stuff like that. But good luck to everybody. I see that it's 1 p.m. Eastern time, and it's time to watch some football. Have a good one.